Hello everybody, welcome to another coaching video from the community. Today we'll be having another PVZ from Mr. AngryBird. He says he's a 4.6k MMR European Protoss from roughly Masters 3, he says. And this is his message. Hey MaNa, I am a fan of yours and supporter. I think no one other than me watched a game of mine, so I thought it would be cool if you could just have a look and underline my mistakes so I could improve. Thanks in advance. Very well, Mr. AngryBird. We will try to highlight your mistakes and points where you could improve. You can see you're quite a positive person, so thanks for submitting your replay. Your opponent is going to be NG, a Zerg. And yeah, let's get straight to it. Let's see what you're going to be doing. The map is Oxide LE, and I'm expecting to give you a lot of advice. As in PvZ, I think it's a very tricky matchup, but we will get to the bottom of it. That's okay. You're going for a gateway expand and a gateway scout, of course. It's perfectly fine. Let's just try to speed up the process at the beginning. I'm going for the Nexus, Cyber Core. Pretty good timing. You keep on scouting around the natural of your opponent. This prop could be walking around the main, but this is fine. I see the pull finishing. Looks very standard so far. Going for the pylon. The Cybercore finishes. Okay, what do you do? Stalker. Crawl on the Stalker and Warp Gate. Okay. So I guess you want to deny the scouting of your opponent. Use Chrono Boost at the probes. Okay, you're going for the Twilight Council. Very cool. And on the other side of the map, you have confirmed this is a free base Zerg. Very cool. Go for the Robo in the walls. I suppose you are going for the Glaive Adept build. But I can already see a slight mistake with that build. If you're going for the Glaives, we'll see. If it's DT, this is fine. You Chrono Boost out this Adept. But why? Look at this. A very first big mistake. It might seem like a small deal, but you have Chrono Boosted out this Adept. But half of the Chrono Boost is not going to be used, right? So might as well just not Chrono Boost out this Gateway. There's no reason to do that. Unless you start another Gateway unit immediately. Okay, you're going for the DT Shrine, so this is fine. I think you trapped the probe here, didn't you? You trapped the probe. Okay, so the Chrono Boost happens. What you say? Okay, poor guy. 4 gateways. Robo has been done for quite some time. Okay, but you're Chrono Boosting out the Warp Prism now. Fairly okay. This adept position, I think if Lynx would be trying to go through, I think they would go through. Like it's not in a perfect position, but luckily nothing is happening. You go for the scouting with the adept. Okay. Warp Prism is done. Okay. You move it a couple seconds too late, but it's okay. It gets spotted by the Zerg. Your gateways are finishing. Pretty solid timing for this build, not gonna lie. Like for a 4.6, this is as good as it gets. 440, 4 DTs. Solid. Not much to nitpick in here. Let's see what you're going to be doing here with the DTs. Ooh, no defense from the Zerg. Okay. Go for the spines, but why go for the spines? Don't go for the spines. They are useless, right? If they like the Zerg has no detection, just focus on the hatchery. And the Zerg is investing 200 minerals into 2 spine crawlers that are not going to be doing anything. Just go for the hatchery immediately. These spines are not going to be doing for him anything. But you kill them, which is fine. He loses some minerals. And you go for the hatchery. In the meantime, we're Chrono Boosting out the Immortal. Okay. You killed hatchery. Time for continuous harassment. Let's see what you're going to do. Maybe it's good to test some waters, right? You could go to the natural. I feel like you're wasting a lot of the time with the Warp Prism. Okay, maybe Archons now? Alright, slightly late. If you, there are 2 things that you could have done much better right now. If you are going to be warping in Archons, warp them in immediately after the hatchery is done, right? Like retreat with the DTs, go here, so they're not get surrounded, and you warp in Archons. That way, at like 5:20 or 5:10, you could be already harassing with the double Archon. Right now, you have wasted time with flying in the Warp Prism here. Like, hey, I'm doing nothing. And then you go here. And warp in Archons. You didn't even check the wall. Like, you basically wasted like 20 seconds with the Warp Prism harassment for nothing. And in the meantime, you're securing a 3rd base, which is nice. And then, well, this wall is slightly open. Have a unit here. at all times. Okay, you fixed that. Alright, we have an model. A little bit of Archon harassment. I would definitely recommend, if you're going for a third base, have a forge already. Have it like kind of, how should I say, lined up with charge to start both charge and +1 attack at the same time. It's okay if you want to start charge faster, but at least invest into a forge since you're clearly going for a slightly longer game with a third base, so +1 attack is crucial to have as a Protoss player. Okay, you continue harassing with the Warpism. This Zerg is dead. Are you just sending this replay just to brag about a good win? Like, hey MaNa, I won a game quite convincingly. Why don't you just show it to your people? That would be a quite shitty thing to do, no? I wonder if you're going to lose this game or win. 55 probes against 39 drones. I mean, you're in a fantastic position. If you're losing this game, I have no idea how. Oh, don't lose the prism. Okay. You keep on gathering army. There's the 4. Slightly late, but at least you do invest into that. You have 4 gateways active and constant immortal production, which is nice. 2 sentries, very cool. You have an observer. Okay, you cleared some of the creep, but this is fine. I like this. I like this setup for you. You're doing things right. You could be moving out already with this army and having the third base gases slightly faster. Since you have invested into the Templar Archives and the Storm, you will be needing a lot of gas. Even though you have a lot of gas, you could be warping in 4 Templars, morph them into Archons and like move across the map. Try to punish the Zerg for the greed that he has. Double Evo and 4 bases already, right? You snipe the third base, Zerg has wasted a lot of economy. So you could definitely try to test some waters with your army. You don't have to fully attack, fully commit with this army, but just try to poke any forward. You can see with the observer the strength of the Zerg army. You could definitely be fighting right now. So you have already 4 Templars, forced to gather energy on the Storm. Okay, saturate the gases. Saturate the gases. Wow, you're a probe maniac. 73 probes on 3 bases, okay. You saturate, now you go for the 4th. Okay, this is cool. At least you're focusing on the macro a lot, which is good for the longevity of the game. So you go for the attack, and I suppose this attack just kind of kills the guy, no? Okay, you go in. What do you have in the meantime? Okay, fully saturated third, fully saturated natural in the main. Like, you're very oversaturated, right? Like, these 8 probes gathered could be already transferred. One of the probes from here. And what? 11 probes from here. Could be already sent here. Because, like, especially from the main base, these probes are not mining. And it also gives you more time to focus on this attack. Focus on the micro. And if you transfer these probes, right, from the natural, from the third base to the 4th base, the Nexus will eventually finish. And the probes that are not mining because of the oversaturation of the base will be mining from the long distance. And eventually the Nexus will finish and they will be going back in here. So it just gives you more time. I like this idea of doing like a 2-prong attack. The 4th base, perfect. And this is very good. Solid stuff. And DTs, the thing about DT run-bys, it feels good, they deal a lot of damage, but it's also super expensive. I would not recommend going with a run-by with Zealous and DTs. In this situation it works for you, but it's not a perfect situation overall. Like, I would not recommend doing that in an even game. Because it's just simply too expensive. Zealots are going to do simply the same purpose. You can mix in maybe 1 DT. If they have no detection, the DT will do damage. But if they have detection and you lose 4 DTs, that's a lot of minerals and gas that you're going to be losing. I like this push, yeah, with the 4 Storm. This is basically what I was saying, but much stronger with the Storm. You could absolutely afford this. I mean, Zerg has like no army whatsoever, right? So this is a fairly easy fight for you. Force Field, Storm. Yeah, Zerg cannot really micro against this anymore. He has good upgrades because he would have 2 too soon, but it's like just before 2 finishes. In the meantime, this base is not saturated, right? This is what I was talking about. You could have been transferring. +2 should have been started in the meantime. What overall a pretty good game by you. I'm not sure why this replay has been sent to me. I guess just to nitpick about the small things, because generally this game was pretty good for you, Mr. AngryBird. So the key points would be just slightly faster upgrades. Think about the saturating of the 4th base. But overall, good game, man. Like, there's really not much I can teach you from this game, since the opponent lost the third base and like you were in a fantastic position from the beginning. But alright, this is the kind of easy episode, I suppose. So thanks for sending this replay. And yep, that's going to be it for this episode. Quite an easy one. Thanks for watching, everybody. Hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you will enjoy it too, AngryBird. Have a good day, everybody. I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.